I'm Kiba.
I'm Cole.
And we're the Retrocade. Nintendo has been a staple of gaming for decades, bringing forth some of the most iconic video game advancements in the industry.
Not to mention some of the most beloved characters of all time. From Super Mario to The Legend of Zelda, all the way to Metroid and Kirby, Nintendo has continually introduced new franchises and experiences for gamers of all ages.
And when all of those worlds collide, you get one of the most popular gaming franchises ever, Super Smash Bros. First developed by HAL Laboratories in 1999, Super Smash Bros. Was a crossover for the ages, and has become a global phenomenon ever since.
Since its inception, the project has been helmed by none other than Masahiro Sakurai, making him a household name in the gaming community. And today, we take a look at the series as a whole, examining its dynamic universe and impact it's had on the gaming world.
This is the history of
Super Smash on the Nintendo 64 was the first of its kind, a non-arcade brawler bringing together multiple gaming universes into one all-out fight for supremacy. The game featured 8 playable characters with 4 secret characters that could be unlocked through various ways, including meeting requirements in single-player matches or by playing a set number of multiplayer matches. Once defeated, those characters would join the roster for anyone to play as. Players could choose to duke it out by themselves against computer-controlled fighters or with up to 3 other people. The single-player mode featured an arcade-style back-to-back match system, ending with a final boss battle against the most feared adversary in the game, Master Hand. Master Hand would not only turn out to be the boss at the end of your adventure, but also a young child playing in their bedroom with the toys of their favorite Nintendo characters, as is portrayed in the opening sequence of the game. The child sets up an imaginary fight between characters from different Nintendo franchises. Mechanics of Super Smash 64 were minimalist, but included battle parameters such as time limits, stock battles, items to be used as weapons for competitive advantage, or even adjusting the difficulty level of your computer combatant. Smash 64 would go on to spawn one of the biggest fighting game sequels in history with Super Smash Bros. Melee.
In 2001, the Nintendo GameCube was following right behind the success of the PlayStation 2, bringing forth CD-ROM technology and enhanced graphics to the Nintendo fanbase. Super Smash Bros. Melee took advantage of that full force, which can be seen from the game's opening sequence. Introduced in Melee was a new trophy system that allowed the player a chance to get a closer look at Nintendo's history. You could display your various trophies in a room belonging to a young adult who we can infer is the same child from the previous game. You can also see fun Easter eggs looking at Nintendo's wonderful past, showing the Game Boy Color, Nintendo 64, and even the Super Nintendo Entertainment System and the NES. You could also earn trophies from a lottery system, affected by the amount of coins you place in the gacha-like machine. Taking a more expansive approach with the menu system, as well as the various game modes you could play, including but not limited to event matches, training modes, and tournaments, Melee took fighting games to the next level. The roster also grew with the interface, now boasting 25 characters to choose from. Melee introduced characters from Fire Emblem, Ice Climbers, and Nintendo's Game & Watch, as well as more characters from Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and Star Fox. This gave us a whopping 11 new characters to unlock in multiplayer matches, as well as the new single-player campaign, Adventure Mode. You could also now adjust which items would appear during your matches, if any at all. The maps also expanded, now including more familiar landscapes from Nintendo's history. You could unlock 11 additional maps, which makes Melee the only game in the series to have the same number of unlockable maps and characters. The matches were even more fast-paced than before, with more fluid mechanics and movesets. Taking a look at Adventure Mode, this allowed the players to pick a character of their liking and go through a series of challenges and battles in various worlds to collect trophies, unlock new characters and stages, and feel like a part of the universe they're playing in. And on top of that, they didn't make it easy. At the end of Adventure Mode, not only do you have to beat the Metal Mario Bros, but also the King Koopa himself, Bowser, and a multi-man melee. Super Smash Bros. Melee allowed households across the world to get competitive, while also having a blast doing it. In fact, so competitive that to this day, Melee is one of the original games played in the Evolution Championship Series, or EVO as it's more widely known. This game has a huge cult following, and probably will years down the road.
In 2008, Super Smash Bros. Brawl launched on the Nintendo Wii, produced for the first time by GameWorks instead of HAL Laboratories. With an expanded menu system, Nintendo was able to add in unique features such as the masterpieces, which were playable demos of some of Nintendo's greatest hits. Challenges, which would unlock new trophies, stages, and soundtracks for later viewing and use. The trophy system was also expanded, giving players new ways to collect them via a coin launcher minigame. You could also earn stickers, which could be applied to your favorite characters to enhance their battle capabilities. Brawl also included a stage builder mechanic for players to design stages fit for their ideal matches. You could customize size, atmosphere, and hazards. You could even add music from your favorite Nintendo games. Just don't forget to test your creations first. Sometimes they just don't work out. The new roster grew from 25 to 35, adding 10 new characters from various franchises. But the real superstar of this game was the Subspace Emissary, Brawl's very own campaign, which allowed for singular or cooperative play. This culminated in a confrontation against the most difficult adversary to date, Taboo. One might even argue that this expanded universe could have come from the imagination of the same child mentioned in previous games. This also added a bit of a darker tone compared to the previously lighthearted entries. In this mode, you could also unlock characters who would assist you throughout the campaign, including Sonic the Hedgehog and Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. The battles and stages became even more chaotic, adding stage events and even more fast-paced hand-to-hand combat. This was an opportunity also for Nintendo to show off a bit more of their works on the GameCube through map designs, such as Wind Waker, Pikmin, and various others. Brawl also included a game-changing mechanic with the Smash Ball, a new item that could change the tide of battle. Once the character obtains said item, the Smash Ball will trigger a final smash, a match-ending move specific to each character. Super Smash Bros. Brawl is the top-selling game in the series to date, having sold over 13 million copies globally since its release. Brawl may not be as competitive as its predecessor, but has gained a following with its controversial, unofficial, modded mode, Project M. This allowed players to fight with even more precise settings, different characters not included in the original packaging such as Mewtwo and Roy from Melee, and a more competitive tonality to the game. Nintendo realized the public demand for more specific modifications to their games, as is evident in the most recent entry in the franchise.
Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS, or more widely known as Smash 4, was 2014's answer to the declining popularity of the Wii U. This brought back core players to Nintendo's systems and put more Wii U's and 3DS's in people's hands. Bandai Namco took the helm, having already proven themselves in the past with fighting games such as Tekken and Soul Calibur. Smash 4 proved to be a force to be reckoned with. For the first time, the game was split into two different versions. The 3DS version featuring exclusive maps and a more cel-shaded comic-like design, while the Wii U version released after, with HD graphics more familiar to the Smash Bros. Aesthetic. The roster grew even more to now feature 51 starter characters, some of which can be unlocked through various modes and challenges in the game, as well as, for the first time ever, 7 DLC characters. This allowed more options to choose from when it came to characters, and gave more people a chance to play with the addition of 8-player Smash, allowing 3DS connectivity. The likes of Mega Man, Pac-Man, and even Cloud from Final Fantasy joined the ranks of Smash's elite. The maps became more detailed and more interactive, allowing the chaos to ensue in ways like never before. Smash 4 is also included at EVO every year since its launch, joining Melee as a competitive title. To this day, there is a fandom war between which game is superior, which is ultimately split down the middle consistently.
So what can we expect going into 2018 with the release of Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch?
With the trailers released back in March, introducing the Inklings from Splatoon, the world is hyped to see what Smash Bros. Is going to bring to the table. Who's going to return to the fray? Will we see returning characters from previous entries, such as Cloud, Bayonetta, and Wolf?
We can already see the likes of Mario possibly in his Odyssey outfit, and Link definitely appearing as he does in Breath of the Wild. Will this be a new Link to play as, or simply a reskin?
And with the inclusion of Crash Bandicoot on the Switch, as well as games like Little Nightmares, Dark Souls, and the expected arrival of Kingdom Hearts this year, could we see some amazing guest characters smash their way into this franchise?
Only time and Nintendo will tell.
I'm Kiba.
And I'm Cole.
And we're the Retrocade, with the history of Super Smash Bros.